record in here.
Jackie, turn your phone off.
I know. It's down. It's down.
I need a good laugh.
Wait,
You need a good bath. Whiskey and perfume. You had a nightcap. Now how about that?
Oh, it's on the podcast.
I've got a new friend, a perfect
Let's
stranger.
over like
He's
normally
got a
do.
bullet
How do we
with your
get
name
this?
in the chamber. I'm mighty Yorkin, free ranger. You feel my danger. This time a bitch gets the last. All your excuses, you come and
There we go. I found it. Start a watch party. Doing this right. Here we go.
You got it, Jackie. I'm so
Got
proud.
it.
I'm so proud.
Audio. Gina still has her curls on from before the
Yeah, I
pandemic.
forgot my pearls.
Lunar time.
I forgot my pearls,
For
Gina.
Podcast Detroit and Rockin' Royal Oak, Michigan.
I left my classroom and came right here. Yeah, I'm still teaching
For some entertainment and inspiration. Join them every Wednesday at noon. You can always find us at PodcastDetroit.com. I gotta ask, what were you born to do?
What were you born to do, guys?
Lunar time.
Somebody better live, nigga. We're back.
We're back.
We're back.
Happy hump day. Yeah.
We're back.
We're back. Well, we were a little off with our predictions this year, girls.
Well, some of us were.
Big plan we did.
Oh man,
Huh?
yeah, it was funny.
Some of us were.
Some of,
Look,
yeah, some of us were off.
some of
not
us
all.
were off because I'm the one who did say I'm taking it as it comes.
Yes, you did.
But and
you
I did too.
I should have
Didn't
listened.
have any lists.
I know you did.
Didn't have any
I
lists.
know.
So listen, I found
know.
my notes, and Jackie, I know how you love how I color code it, but I found my notes from that show.
My list. My list. Here's on my list. I'm not giving up on my list, just so you
No.
know.
We don't like
Okay,
your,
go
we
ahead.
don't like your
Go ahead.
list. But look, I found my notes from that show that said, it's time to see clearly. We are ready for a new year of clarity and change in 2020.
Oh, wow. Okay.
That's how
So
we
you
started the
jinxed
show.
it.
And
Yeah.
no,
Oh.
and I said, but
Oh.
I had a quote that I think that we need to talk about because this is a really good quote. Life is like
Yeah.
a camera. Focus on what's important, capture the good
Mhm.
times,
Oh, I
develop
remember
the
that.
negatives,
Yeah.
and if things don't work out, take another shot. So let's start
remember.
with that.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Oh, my God. You're
Yeah, I
right.
remember
Right there.
that.
Wow.
Color
was
code.
Good job,
list.
Gina.
That was your one list.
Yeah, your one list, your one quote. Oh, gosh. Terrific. Good job, teacher.
So yeah, thank you.
You did do a terrific job.
So life is like a camera. Focus on what's important. What you learned was in the last 6 months or so, what's important? A
That there's
kitchen.
a lot of stuff I worked on that wasn't important for me.
Exactly.
That's what I learned.
So yeah, life is important. That's what's important.
Yes.
Yeah, our lives.
Yeah.
Our lives.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So.
And how much we can do without. We don't have to be real
That's a big
busy.
one. But we can't do without
Yeah.
toilet paper. I learned that. Can't do without toilet paper.
No. No, we can't do without toilet paper. How much toilet paper do you guys have left?
I'm not a hoarder, so you know what?
Me either. Yeah.
Neither
No,
else.
I didn't go crazy.
No?
Guys, what about you? Are you hoarders?
No? These guys are rock stars. They'll figure out. They don't need toilet paper. They'll figure it out.
Exactly. All right. What I learned that is important. Look, I'm coming to you from my kitchen because, as we know, when
Yes.
it all started, there was no kitchen.
You didn't have a kitchen.
So
It looks beautiful. Put the camera around so we can we see it, Gina?
Yeah, let's see
No,
it.
Show us
this
with the
is
camera.
part right here. I moved everything off.
Nice back.
There, you can see
Yeah,
a
it
little
looks,
bit.
oh, it looks beautiful.
Yeah, it's good.
Wow.
It's good. All right. So
That looks
focus on what's important. Capture the good times. Something good that happened.
Yes.
Something good.
Yes.
During the
Uh,
pandemic. Anything?
well, I
Yeah,
kind of
we
had
had,
a career change. That
yeah.
was good.
All right, Nora.
Yeah.
A career change. You've got new
I-
hair too.
Yeah, well, I was feeling purple, so I was feeling blue
Wait, Nora,
like a few weeks ago, and now I'm purple.
Oh.
So, one of my coworkers
Tell us
does
about-
hair at the funeral home, and she asked if I would step in for her, when she went on vacation. And I've done it before, just my clients, but not just to go in. And,
Wait. Funeral home as in dead people?
yeah.
As in the people
So-
are dead.
Yeah.
You know
don't
how they get
complain.
them ready for the casket?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's hairdressers that do that.
Yeah, I mean, they need
That's
somebody, not everybody
Yeah.
wears a, so, so,
No, this is just shocking to me. So
Yeah.
go ahead. I'm just
I hadn't done it in probably at least 7 years, 10 years, something like that. And
So
remember,
done
it was
this
just my
before?
client. Oh yeah, my client. Yeah, I had a couple clients that I did. So
only once though.
yeah,
Only
But-
once.
when you go in there, they have them already, and then there's a picture of how they want the hair and all of that. And when I did my clients, nobody else was in there. It was just that person. Well, this time I go in, it's like 4 or 5 people in that person. So
Like
I
they're
just
watching you?
kinda-
Family members? Was it family?
no dead people.
They
Oh,
weren't
there were.
watching
Oh,
then,
you were in a
Jackie.
room. Wait, you
Yeah.
were in a room with 4 or 5 dead people.
Yes.
So Jackie, those
Wow.
people were not watching.
No.
No.
So
So what was
I
that
just-
like?
well, I plug in my music and I just talk and I just sing or I hum or I'll talk to them. Because you when you get in there, it is kind of creepy and stuff at first, but once you start doing the hair, you kind of want to give them some dignity, because you want their families to be okay. And, if it was me, I would want to look, the person to make me look my best. And because how sometimes you'll go to a funeral and you'll look and you'll be like, that didn't look like her, or she didn't do that,
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So, it's a humbling experience, which most people wouldn't think that way. They would just go in and do the job. But for me, it was a humbling experience. So,
Like why? Which way?
because
How was it
I
humbling?
want them to I want them to have the dignity, and I want the family to be satisfied, because
Mhm.
it's a hard time. So,
Yeah.
And then the
Yeah.
other
Have you
thing-
ever worked on a child? Or
No,
have
that's
you
what I
ever
was going
worked
to say. I've never done a child, and I don't know how I would feel about that because of my kids and grandkids. But
Yeah.
and I've never gone in, not and the person is someone I knew, and I didn't know they had passed. So that's never happened, thank God. So
Mhm.
but
Yeah.
I would like to think that I would still be okay after I got over the initial thing. But the one thing that really
Mhm.
hurt me too was to go in there and there was so many people. It was just
Mm.
a lot. Yeah. So,
Mm.
but I'm glad I had the experience. It's I have a niece that's a mortician, so we
Oh,
used to talk.
wow.
Yeah, she lives in Atlanta, and we used to talk about when she opened her own business. She's like, "You're gonna come and do hair," and I'm like, "Yeah, I'll do." But yeah.
Yeah.
So
Well, Nora, I commend you because a negative time with your clientele, your business,
Uh-huh.
you
Right.
have you've pivoted.
Right.
You've developed from the negative. So well done,
Yeah.
you.
Right.
I did, didn't I?
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
You did. Now, are you still working on it? Working on live people too, or you're just,
Yeah, I'm back to working on live people. So yeah,
all right,
they
good.
talk back. They do talk back. So
And then the next part is if things don't work out, take another shot.
Mm.
So
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know, a lot of things didn't work out for a lot of people. So
Right.
yeah.
Right. Well,
Yeah.
we have a group on today that's going to talk about how they've had to pivot because, you know,
Yeah.
the music industry is definitely also an area that was hit really hard.
Yeah.
Teachers as well, Gina.
Yeah,
Teachers.
you know what? Yeah, a shout out to all my colleagues at Lake Orion Community Schools and anywhere else that I have ever taught as they go back. Some schools are going back face to face. Some schools are going back virtual. Some schools are going back a combination of both. And as a public, we need to support and applaud whatever the school decision has been made. You know what? It's a hard decision. So whatever anybody has decided to do, let's give them some grace. Let's give the teachers grace.
Them.
Let's give the administrators. Let's give the students the grace to learn the skills that they need. It's new education.
Right.
You know what? We just have to. We have to proceed on. This is not forever. This is not how education will be forever, but it's for right now. So it's, you know, in the spring, I said, we're in crisis. You know, we're in a nation in crisis. So it was crisis education, and we educate differently when we are in crisis. And though for many communities, the initial health crisis has passed, there's still some fear of contracting this. You know, and while often our young people don't get it as severely, they can still get COVID, and you know, so we support and we thank and we appreciate all our administrators, educators, students who are out there starting a new year.
Yep, that's true.
So
right about that. Well said. Well said. I saw a school bus for the first time yesterday, and I was confused. I was like, what are they doing? Where are they going? What is it? What are they doing?
Where are they going?
And you know what?
Where are they going?
And many school districts are handling it differently. They're bringing in different populations, different groups. They're doing some virtual, some online, some in-seat. It really just depends on what's best for that community. People have their thoughts and opinions on all of it, and everybody's entitled to their thought and opinion. Just know that the school district did the very best they possibly could for what they thought would be for their you may not like it or agree with it, but you just need to support it.
Right.
Good point. Well said. Well said. You should be a campaign manager there, Gina, for the schools.
You should be a teacher in a campaign.
Nope.
There you go.
Doing my thing. China in the morning and here on Wednesdays. That's it.
Yeah. There you go.
Summertime, ladies. How was that?
Summertime. Hot.
Summertime?
It was hot. It was hot. It was a hot girl summer.
Hot girl summer. That sounds like a song. I thought it was good. I mean, it was nice. I thought that everything slowed down, but I do have to say I'm a big concert goer and music festival person, and with all that being canceled, it was really different. And
Jackie,
I didn't like that part.
Jackie, the jazz festival downtown Detroit.
I think they're going to do that.
It's virtual. It's virtual.
Oh, it is?
Yeah. But I'm normally there. So I'm just like, and it's, oh my God, this is so much.
I know. That was hard. That was hard, but imagine what it's.
I saw in the news yesterday that they were talking about on Fox 2 about the venues that are losing money, especially the smaller ones, because you know of this. So that's sad. Yep.
All right. And so Nora, I know you went and visited a former Nooner Show guest recently.
I did. Lee.
An essential business.
Yes.
An essential business.
She owns a shop called Busted, you know, and it's busted for your boobies. It's the booby shop. Boobs, you know. So I needed to go and get the girls taken care of because the girls, you know, were hanging all out, you know, and I just could not find the right for them.
So you got some undergarments, is what you're saying.
I got some booby holders. So I had to, look, Gina, it's so hard.
You.
It looks hard. It's so hard. See, you guys don't care because, you want to see us without the booby holders. But anyway, it's so hard to find booby holders because no one's there to fit you. So, your body changes and all of that. And it's like, it's a chore. It's like something I hate to do. It's like pulling teeth. I hate to go shop for one. So I made this appointment. I drove all the way down from Flint to Detroit to go to her shop. And she's the owner. And I did not know that she was going to be the one that would be fitting me. So that was really, really nice.
So let me understand. You had a custom, you were getting a custom bra?
Yes.
Oh, okay. All right. I'm trying to catch up.
Yeah. We had her on the show.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you weren't at the interview. She was on our show like a couple of years ago, I think. But since she's been on our show, she has how many locations now? 3?
I think she has 3 now.
Lee's her name, right?
Very
nice. That's amazing.
Yeah, and look, that's how long I've been trying to get to her. It's for 2 years.
Show.
Yeah. So
go back and listen. Look for the show. Find out about it.
When I tell you, she knows her stuff. And when I left there, they were at attention. My booby holders, they were at attention, and it was fabulous. And I'm so happy. And I love the booby holders now. Yeah.
So you bought a specific bra that she recommended? Is that what happened?
Well, I tried on
It's
probably
custom.
like 10, and I brought 5. I got 5. Yes.
Custom. It's all custom.
Yeah.
Oh, they make them specifically for you?
She goes all over to purchase these, and she really takes her time and all of that. So I did try on one that was $190 something.
Jeez, oh Pete.
Yeah.
That's like the Victoria's Secret diamond bras, isn't it?
But it felt like it was probably $190. So
jeez.
I'll be 60 in December, so I told the kids, just give me a gift card, So, but just a really, really nice experience. She made it a really nice experience, and I recommend it to anybody that really, we spend money on all these other things, and my mom always told me, you could get hit by a car tomorrow. You need to make sure your undergarments look nice. So,
oh wow.
Yeah. So I'm happy that I did that. It was a really good experience. Shout out to Lee. Thank you, Lee, so much.
And I'm glad to hear that her business is growing despite everything else that's going on.
She was
She's
doing
still
appointments.
growing. That's awesome.
Appointments. Yeah.
All right. Well, hey, we have some amazing guests on today, so I think we need to get ready here and get on with our show and our interview. All right. This is where Nora has to sing Get Ready. No.
Yes. I'm not singing it. This segment is designed to showcase the stories of talented individuals like yourselves who had a wish and found a way to make it happen. They set goals, overcame obstacles, and turned setbacks into comebacks. Their stories are unique, interesting, and most of all, inspiring. You're up, Gina.
Thank you. All right. Our guests today, from what I've been told, they have quite the reputation. Is this true, gentlemen? Known as Detroit's Young Hellions of Rock and a band to rock. It's founded by 2 brothers, Nico and Gino, with the addition of Dennis. Cougaran, you hit the Detroit music scene in Detroit 2010, is that correct?
Officially 2012.
Officially 2012, but in the meantime, you've been opening up for some really well-known bands.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
According to my notes, Jack Russell, Great White, Autograph, Cheap Thrill, and many more.
Oh yeah, I could count them on my hands, I tell you. You know,
Your sound has been described as the new generation rock with some old soul.
Yeah.
Are you guys some old souls? Is that what I'm hearing?
well, a mix of vintage and modern.
Not,
He's the new school one.
He says no. Dennis says no.
In 2018, you signed with RL Records, a Detroit-based label, and you partnered with M15, a Universal Music group. In 2019, you released your EP, Fight for Your Life. We welcome today our guest, Cougar Ann.
Welcome.
Yeah.
Gentlemen, I commend you for sitting in on the beginning of Bras, Back to School, and our catch-up. Welcome.
Booby holder.
Yeah. But here's the thing. There's nothing like coming back. This is our first show back from this pandemic. And there's nothing like coming back to some good rock in your face. So this was a perfect start for the rest of our year, guys. So thanks for joining us. And where are you guys right now? I love the background. Where are you?
We are at
the
Motor Cafe.
Awesome. That's down at the D Zone, right?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. That's really cool.
Yeah.
Now, you guys, I had the pleasure of interviewing these guys at Hyped Up Live Sessions earlier this year. Actually, it was June. It was one of the few shows that we did do live because it's rock and you just have to.
Yeah.
So I got to interview them and see them live. But this is a different platform. So for our audience, Nico, I'm going to start with you. Give us a little bit of the backstory of how you guys did get together.
Well, current lineup or the band in general?
Well, let's start with the band in general.
Okay. Yeah. Honestly, it kind of just started off as a basement project between me and Gino, really, for a couple years. And then we came up with a logo, tried a couple things, and then something just clicked. And it was like, okay, in 2012, it's like, okay, we could actually do this legit. You know, we could actually...
What was it that clicked? What clicked?
It was more or less like we've been playing for a long time.
Yeah, I mean,
I went to music school, and then he was gonna follow me up with music school a few years later, and then we were just like, well, heck, if we're doing this for real, might as well make this thing for real.
Yeah, might as well.
So you guys went to school in Chicago, right?
Yeah. And then
was it Chicago?
Yeah,
yes.
Chicago.
When they ask me, all right.
So where did the musical background come from? Did it come from your parents, or did you just watch somebody and you were like, okay, that's what I want to do?
Really, like at first it was family, you know, parents and that kind of thing. But then after, you know, like as a teenager, you start exploring different things and all of that. And, you know, since I was, you know, learning all of this, I figured backtrack and listen to everything that's already came. And once I did that, you know, I listened to everything that's fresh and current, you know. So, and was
there a concert that, go ahead. I'm sorry, was there a concert that you guys went to as brothers back in, you know, 2010, 2011 that stood out, that made you that?
Oh, when I was 6, I saw ZZ Top.
Oh.
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 Yeah, ZZ Top would make anybody want to be a rock star.
I was old at the time, so.
And then, you know, I did see Ozzy and then Slash open up for Ozzy. Saw Cheap Trick open for Aerosmith. And, you know, a few other things over the years. Smaller, same kind of thing. And I was just like, you know, this is actually pretty cool. It's a way to travel.
And then,
you know, do what I want to do what we want to do, but at the same time, you know, ground it to a point to where we can actually do cool things, you know, without, you know, killing.
And then how did Dennis become part of it?
It was probably
I
How
messaged
did Dennis join the group?
because I was working at Guitar Center at the time, and I'd been in a whole bunch of different bands. Like I'd played with them before.
Yeah.
And when I was a part of a couple different bands, and one of our mutual friends just said that Koo Grant was looking for a bass player, and so I hit him up because that's generally like what I do, is just try out for every band. Some of them stick, some of them don't.
Yeah, and he tried out, and as you
It's
said,
a match.
Yeah. Yeah, you guys look like you're all related. He definitely
Yeah, you
looks
do.
like he could.
I was just gonna say that. Yeah.
Something like that.
It's, so how long ago was that, Dennis? When did you join?
About 2 years ago.
yeah,
Yeah, it'll be 2 years in October, November.
yeah, October, November, it's going to be about 2 years he's been in the band now.
Yeah.
So
And have you guys always set out to do rock? I'm sorry, Nora. This is,
It's okay, go
this is a
ahead.
hard part.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was just going to say, did you guys always set out to play rock music? Was that going to be the brand? Or did you, I mean, in the music industry, it seems like there are always people in the artist ear saying you should do this, you should try that, go that route, go this route. Did you guys know it was going to be rock and that was it? Didn't matter what was happening in the industry?
Well, that's the thing. The industry is kind of an ever-changing chameleon, really.
Mhm.
And,
Right.
there's so many different subgenres of rock out there. You can't really say that you're a rock band or a metal band anymore. You can, but there's subgroups. Like, say, if you're a rock band, like, what would somebody go like? Okay, what
No, okay. So the subcategory that we would fall into would be called butt rock,
Oh
which
my
is
God.
a subcategory of rock that's more commercially successful and made that way. So you take bands and Greta Van Fleet, like something that's maybe more commercially successful. Like that's just how that's how it is in the industry. Like you take a band like A Day to Remember, they're like more easy core. There's so many different subgenres to get into, but we definitely fall into the butt rock category.
I
Yeah.
mean, kind of how I look at it as we're a rock band that basically encompasses a bunch of different subgenres of the rock industry. I personally
Okay.
love 70s, 80s rock, but I also love 2000s post-hardcore, 2000s metal, new metal, all different types of rock and metal that I just kind of feel like we're bringing into
Yeah,
the industry.
and I like a lot of the 70s, 80s stuff too, but then I also listen to a lot of blues. I listen to a lot, the modern rock as well. Well, people call modern rock. And, these guys will send me stuff. Like I remember you sent me the band Death.
Oh, that's
from
that's an
the
older.
Yeah,
That's an older band
70s
from
Detroit.
It was a bunch of young black brothers that started a proto-punk, which is like before punk rock band in the suburbs of Detroit. And they had been really obscure, but then they kind of popped up more that people found them. It's really good too.
Yeah,
It's really, really
it was
good.
like before the Ramones.
Wow.
Yeah, nobody.
Oh, wow.
And
Now,
then-
how did you find that?
Yeah. How did you find that? Yeah.
I found that out because I went to school at DIME, the Detroit Institute of Music Education, and we were talking about it one year because we went through a history class that was like kind of geared about the music culture and specifically around Detroit. So that's like in the era of Motown, they were basically the one rock band that kind of came out. They're really good, but like super, super forgotten. But now,
They're
if you
huge.
find one of their they're not huge, like they're just rare. Like if you find one of their records, they can sell for up to like $800. But
Really?
but
Wow.
one of I think it's the drummer's grandma just had a whole box of them. It's like that thing of if we made a CD, had a whole box of them, put them up in your attic, and then you leave it for 40 years. What you thought was worthless is now priceless. Really.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Wow. That's interesting.
What's
You
the
learn
name of
something
the
every day.
band that you're talking about?
Yeah.
Death, she said. Death. Death.
Death?
Yeah.
Huh.
E-A-T.
I'll have to ask Team Money about that.
Wow. I was just
Okay.
going to say that, Jay.
I'll have to
So guys, I have a question about the direction of your music.
Yes.
You all have, you all talk about, you brought this and I brought this and everything. Do you guys ever disagree about the direction that you're going to go? Like one of you feels really passionate about adding some,
I mean, yeah, it's happened countless of times, but the thing that I really like just about us is, yeah, we may have differing opinions on how a song could go, but the nice thing is we actually play around with, or at least try to play around with everybody's idea for that particular song, and we see what works, what may not work, or what we can incorporate from everything that will actually make us all happy with it.
We do our best, because we all see a forward direction. And, all of us have different ideas, and what we all do is try to make all those ideas work somehow.
Mhm.
So that way everyone feels good about everything, because, we're all a team here. So, I mean, you can't just do one thing and the other guys are like, well, what the heck? No.
Mm-hmm.
I'd
Yeah.
rather hear from these guys
Yeah.
if something sucks or not.
and how do
Do
you,
all of you write? Do
Huh?
all of you write music? Do you write music?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
All
we all.
three?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's great.
Mhm.
Okay, Gina, sorry. Go ahead.
no, that's okay. I was going back to what you were talking about, the direction and working together. How do you, because all too often you hear of bands, groups, people who they get their feelings hurt, that their idea, their vision isn't taken, and everybody else doesn't see it for what they see. So how do you overcome during those times if you really believe or think that this is the vision or the direction? How do you overcome or get everybody else to come around to your way of thinking?
We vote.
Yeah, we
vote
actually.
on things.
Oh.
Okay.
Mhm.
How Pirates Code is
Yeah.
kind of like that. One of us will have an idea. We'll be like, yay or nay.
Yeah. I
Yep.
mean, that's pretty much it. We vote.
Oh,
And
that's good.
So it's a really simple, I mean, it's not simple, but it's like black or white. It's this or that.
Well, because
It sounds like there's an understanding.
so there's no room.
Yeah.
There's no room for that. We all
Yeah.
are.
Mhm.
And we all want to make the best out of it.
Yeah.
So you keep the end. It sounds like you guys keep the end goal in mind as you're working through the process and the journey. The end goal is always on all three of your minds. So it doesn't matter what happens in between, which it leads me to my next questions. You guys had such momentum. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry. I didn't hear.
The end result could be whatever it turns out. It's all about the journey of building, having that, being able to do what you want to do, and the end result is because of the journey.
Mm.
Yeah,
I like that.
that's great.
Yeah.
Well, let me ask you this, because you guys were on. You had such momentum going on before this whole pandemic hit, as did a lot of other artists. I mean, a lot of people had their whole summer booked with festivals and big shows and concerts and stuff like that. And then, of course, out of everybody's control, that all stopped, and everything was canceled. How did you guys use your time during the pandemic to, stay relevant, to stay out there, to do interviews, to
multiple things? Well, one, most of our gigs were not canceled; they're postponed.
Yeah.
And moved.
Okay.
So we still have almost all of our shows that we would have had this year, including festivals.
Oh, that's
So-
good.
So what?
But you have them when, next year?
Yeah. And maybe a couple near the end of the year. Depending on how things are, but everything is good. And in our downtime, we're taking the time to relax, breathe a bit, and then once the end of summer starts hitting, we've been accumulating ideas, you know, and with everyone relaxing and doing live streams and interviews and, you know, doing promotion and putting content out there, we're going to take the time to write even more. We were actually going to go record before all of this hit. And we were going to go to LA to record. And,
Oh, wow.
And then all this
and
stuff
then all
happened.
this happened. So we're just
Yeah.
stocking what we got, overstocking. So that way, when next year hits, we got a bunch of stuff in the pocket.
Yeah, I mean, we're always coming up with song ideas that we're playing around with. We're always practicing either with each other or on our own individual time to make sure that we're always up to par with what we bring.
He's been playing every day.
Yep.
Every day.
Wow.
Every day. How many hours?
I mean, at least 5.
Yeah.
So I mean,
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah,
Jeez.
yeah,
That's
and
amazing.
Uh-huh.
we're making sure there's not really any wasted time or opportunities
Yeah, exactly.
with all this stuff going on.
Exactly, because
still.
everyone is throwing their hands up saying the year is over. We're going,
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah.
always, you know, because if you can't,
Where does that mindset come
Yeah.
from? That resilience.
That was my
where does that
question.
come from? Because
Yeah.
you're right. A lot of people have given up.
Mm-hmm.
well, we're fighters.
I mean,
you know.
I'm not gonna lie, I've just had that kind of mindset ever since I was a little kid.
Yeah, you know, we're all fighters here. We've all seen the good and the bad and the in between, and we're in a huge in between right now. And I'd rather, instead of being an optimist or a pessimist, I'd rather be an opportunist mixed with a little bit of realism.
Yeah.
Ooh, I like
should be-
that.
yeah, you should write that down.
Is that
Yeah,
your
spell
quote,
that.
Nico? Did you come
Yeah.
up with those words? Is that your quote?
Is that
You should put
Yeah,
Like, I
that
don't
needs
know.
to be on a t-shirt.
that was me.
I like that. That's really
Yeah.
good. Well, speaking of, you guys are fighters. Congratulations on the recent review that your album had. The magazine Closing, is that the magazine Closing recently?
And I want to do a shout out.
How
If
do you pronounce it?
you're watching, thank you for the review. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, it was a great review. And I just want to read something that they wrote. They were talking about how they had a chance a year ago to share a stage with you guys at one of the festivals. And they described you guys as curious and a bit shy, but when it came time to strap on and plug in, they brought the revolution, like all great Motor City rock stars must do. I thought that was
Oh.
great. I thought it described you guys to a T. I thought it was really cool. And you can read the rest of the review on, it's CLOURECORDS.com, chlorrecords.com. It's a great review. So speaking of interviews and stuff like that, I was reading an interview that Metallica did with USA Today.
Yeah.
Mhm.
They just recently did one of their first drive-in concerts.
Mhm.
And the front guy, James Hetfield, said that there's nothing like a live show. And he was talking about how, he said, I'm not sure what everybody else out there is doing, but we've been listening to music and we've been praying and praying for something that we could grasp onto, because music helps us through all things, including this. Do you guys feel that same thing about live shows? That brings people together, it gives that connection?
That's literally how I support myself. So.
Yeah. Now, when you say support yourself, are you talking about financially or also emotionally and mentally and everything else? Because the live shows, the artists need the live shows to build their following, because it's not just about music anymore. But the fans love the live shows because there's a togetherness that happens. There's a sense of belonging with live shows. So when you say you need it, what do you need it? What point of view?
First and foremost, financially, because that's like my main source of income.
I mean-
and then second of all, as a fan too, because I'm really like kind of peeved. I was supposed to go see My Chemical Romance tomorrow, but it got postponed for a year. So I'm kind of really appealed about like having to wait so
You
long.
spent good money on that ticket,
Yeah,
too.
but no, I mean it goes from both aspects, but like from the musician's aspect of it, it's so much more like that's by 9 to 5. So like
Yeah.
that's literally all my income. So I've had to like take part-time jobs and stuff just to kind of like stay afloat now. Like it's not just entertainment, it's literally, okay, how am I gonna eat
Yeah.
Yeah.
next week kind of thing.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You know, like,
Wow.
I'm like, let me put it this way. If I didn't have the teaching gig I have for private lessons, I'd be the same way. Like,
Mm-hmm.
but
But you guys never thought about giving up or
Never.
doing anything different. You're just staying in that in between where you're going to figure it out until. Are you worried that the landscape of live shows is going to change forever? Or do you think it'll go back to
yes and
the concerts? Okay.
no. Depending on what state you're in and depending on stuff. I'm being really neutral here because, people are very sensitive about that topic.
It'll go back.
Mhm.
It's going to change
Yeah.
because a lot of venues are probably like closing down because of not being able to financially support
Mhm.
themselves because the arts didn't get a huge bailout.
Yeah.
So kind of the last thing is like teachers would know. That's the last thing that gets funding when stuff like this happens. And so a lot of venues are probably going to close down. There's, it's definitely going to change and not necessarily for the better. I don't know. It's just going to be different.
And you guys see the articles about Live Nation, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I know a lot of people that work with Live Nation and they're sitting like
Yeah.
us.
I mean, I honestly
Yeah.
think just going to start going into this weird duality where you're going to get some shows that are going to be live streamed only. You're going to get some shows that are in person only, or you're going to get those weird shows that you can live stream, but you can also go in person. Honestly,
I think the
People have been filming
capacity.
shows for
I
years.
think the capacity and the distancing thing that'll last for a while because society is a paranoid beast. Let me put it that way.
Mhm.
It will affect that because ticket prices will rise, less capacity.
mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right.
You don't
Right.
know how stable the bigger music industry is going to be. So it's on our level, and anybody who's not an A-lister, or
Mhm.
somewhere
Right.
in that mix, like they're going to have to like jack their prices like crazy. And then for people like us, it's looking Wild Westy out there. We'd have to
Yeah.
own opportunities. It's not like people
Wow.
like, hey, here's gigs. No,
Yeah.
out there is like, okay, who's still doing stuff?
Yeah.
Who's willing to bring us out there?
Right.
And if there is compensation, how much is that going to be? Or is it going to be put in a hotel or food or travel or something?
Right.
Right. Right. Here's the other thing though. The other part to that equation is you guys, because of how you plan and because of the team that you guys have surrounded yourself with, you've got a great manager. A lot of this wouldn't happen without having a good manager there who does hook up these interviews and everything else. Shout out to Jay. But not everybody has that kind of support system. So it'll be interesting when this is all over, how many people are left in the game,
Yeah.
So,
like what's the fallout going to look like
mhm.
after all of this is over?
Right.
I believe it will end.
Oh, it is.
I
going
believe
to
it
end.
will end.
It's just
Mhm.
what's the
Parameters
after-
we got to play with.
Well, that and just in general, what's the after effect of all of this once we know, hey, we're actually good now?
Yeah.
Right.
Like, for example,
And it's like you said, Nico, just staying with it.
like, for example, we did go on
Listen,
concert, but we made it happen.
go ahead.
Mm.
Made that happen.
Yeah,
We were asked by Jamie,
right,
and we made that happen. You know, we didn't know how.
right.
It was our first time doing like a legit good live stream like that, and we just got together and made it happen. That's as simple
Yeah.
as it
Mhm.
goes at this point. You just got to do the legwork to make things happen.
Especially when you want something, you
Yeah.
figure it out.
Right. Yeah.
Speaking of that, fight for your life. Our team, Nooner team, was talking about that song. I have to tell you, that is my favorite song. I love that song. I told you guys that before, and I love it because it blows me away that you didn't just write that song today or yesterday, because it's so relevant to not just our times today, but for all these people that are in a funk, and not just musicians, but a lot of people have lost their jobs, they've lost their businesses. There's all this divide going on, and it just seems like that song, Fight for Your Life, has a whole different meaning. I don't know if it does for you guys, but when did you guys write that song?
God, how long ago was it?
Well, we officially recorded it. Well, we put out the album or the EP last like June of 2019. We probably recorded that in spring of 2018.
Yeah, but when did you write it?
Probably fall 2017.
I'd say at least 20.
Wow.
Yeah.
So
Okay, before we dissect that, I was gonna say, let's listen to it.
Oh,
I know
okay.
you have some really good questions about that song.
Yeah,
Can we listen to it?
Yeah, let's go.
Dave, can we play that, Dave? Dave? Yeah.
That was nice.
Nice.
Yeah.
I love how you described it. That was nice.
It was nice.
That was so sweet.
It was nice.
I think that song is an anthem. That song's an anthem for a lot of things. I don't know if you guys are doing anything with that song, but you need to repurpose that song. You've got to send that out to suicide prevention places. Fight for your life.
Oh, that's a good one. Yeah.
I'm serious.
There's so many words in there that I mean I think strike a chord with so many different people, like rolling the dice, and you're on your feet again, that people could really resonate, like that sound resonates with whatever they're feeling and going through, which makes it a really timeless song. And at the time you wrote it, like were you thinking you were obviously in a phase of your life that something was going on. I'm not asking for those details, but was there something that led you to write this? Did you, I don't, like when you, what inspired you to write this song?
Well, let me put it this way. Living in Chicago for half a decade and coming back and, seeing everybody do the grind, everyone just wonders, like, is the grind going to matter? When you roll the dice, you're taking, are things going to pan out? But at the same time, how much are you willing to take before you start fighting back?
Wow.
How much are you willing to take? Like when you're grinding on your job, bills piling up, chores in the home,
life
stacking, life kind of jacking you up, It's just like, how much are you going to deal with? And then at that point, when do you start fighting?
Wow. Yeah, I like that.
That's powerful.
That's kind of what
really powerful.
That's kind of what I wanted to ask you, even before I heard the song, because that was my first time hearing it. But how do you guys are really, really positive, and that's a good thing, especially at this time. So do you have like other musicians that you're kind of close to, that you, during this time, that you've had to talk off a ledge? You know what I mean? Like they're saying, oh, I'm done with this. And you have to like bring them back in and tell them to hold on, type of thing. Yeah.
On my end, I don't know about these guys.
Mm-hmm.
It's been pretty smooth. Like everyone's just wanting to play, but a lot of the band leaders on this side of town, keep in touch. Every once in a while, they'll invite each other over. We'll sit, have a couple drinks, and talk about things.
Oh, that's a good idea. That's
cool.
Good. Yeah.
So there is a support group there, sort of.
Yeah.
Yeah, like in a sense of community, because say for example Friday night, Motor Cafe, nothing going on with nobody. Chances are I'll run into 2 or 3 different band leaders that I know that we've played shows with, and we'll sit, have a couple drinks, and talk about life.
Yeah.
Any of you guys want
to
do that?
That's great.
I play with a lot more like kind of advanced songwriters that like go through different genres, and throughout this whole thing, no one's like really quit, but we've all been kind of just like messaging each other more and like sending each other stuff. Like I have friends that live out in California that I went to school with, and he'll send me like some pop stuff to record to, or I've been making a lot of like rap backing tracks and doing a lot of producing. Like no one's really quitting, we're all just really broke.
Just trying to
yeah. Well, that's good, because I said that's how it is even in my profession. When we get to the point to where we're just like, oh, this is just too much. But yeah, when you have that support system like that, so I just wondered if that was the same thing. So it's good to hear that you guys have that.
business has got to be booming for you right now, though, with the whole.
Well, you know what? It was when we first got back out, but now it's like people are really like still scared, you know? So.
Yeah. Oh, guys, well, are you going to do something with that song? Or you, besides just, I mean, like, are you thinking about, seriously, because it could be used for a,
Oh, the minute you said that.
Yeah.
So
what's that?
They're on it.
team is looking into it right now.
See, Jackie, they're on it. Yeah.
Good, good. Because if you don't, well, I can't. It's not mine, but I highly recommend it. It's such a great song. It's a great song.
You gotta watch her.
That's what she does. She's make her list. She's making her list.
No. Listen, before we go, guys, how can people follow you?
Facebook, Instagram, Twitter.
Spell it for everyone. The name.
KOUGARAN. And we do have a website. It's being worked on right now and updated for everything that we're doing. You know, we're constantly making updates because we're evolving. But you can find us on our social media, and chances are you'll see other links on each social media page to where we have other pages right now. We do have a Spotify and Apple Music. So all you'd have to do, it might be hard to find us because we aren't like huge. It's not?
No, just
Yep.
KOUGARAN.
You can find us on Apple, Spotify, your mainstream social media pages. You know, we're pretty easy to find.
Pretty much all the socials.
Okay.
All right, let's go. Let's do our fortune cookie.
Right.
Are we ready?
I want to
Yeah.
Say.
Here we go. So guys, we always end our show with a fortune cookie. And it says, soon someone new is coming into your life and will be a best friend.
Ooh, yeah.
Oh.
Hey.
All right. Well, guys, thank you for taking the time to help us fight for our life and help everybody else fight for their life, and those encouraging words today. We really appreciate it. It was a great start to the rest of our year. We've got an awesome lineup. We're actually almost booked for the whole year with wonderful interviews. Next week we have the lovely Ornetta Davis.
Cool.
So we appreciate it, guys. We'll follow you. We do have your link up, and keep doing what you're doing, you know, because we need rock music.
We need it.
We need
Yes,
good
we
rock
do.
music. So
Music.
keep doing
Thanks
what
for
you're
your
doing.
time today, guys. It was nice to
Thanks,
meet
guys.
And we are going to end the show with Urban Jungle. We're going to play that right after Nora sends us off here, so you can listen to another one of their great songs, and then you can get their music on Spotify and every other place. Thanks, guys. Go ahead, Nora.
Thanks, guys. And remember, sometimes the only mode of transportation available is the leap of faith.
Thanks for taking.
Yes.
Thanks for taking a leap of faith. Bye, guys.
Bye,
Happy
Bye, guys.
Wednesday.
Happy Wednesday, everyone.
What happened?
That's it, guys. I think it cut off.
It
All
cut
right,
off.
bye, everyone.
Bye. Thanks, guys.